Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How have you been doing, guys? Come back again with me, Galuh Chaturisnu Prabowo, in English for Special Purposes subject. As mentioned before in lesson contract, our topic today is chemistry terms. Okay, the objectives for this lesson: students are able to 1. Comprehend the chemistry terms in grade 10, 11, and 12 by select and make a list of key terms, and then use the terms in sentences or paragraph. Second, recognize the gamification in teaching learning activity. And then the last, produce simple gamification related to chemistry terms. For technology based will be advantage. Chemistry term. What is chemistry term? Is there a specific definition in chemistry that has different meaning with common definition? Okay, let's take a look acid and base. Here are the definitions that can be found on the internet. For acid, maybe the definition still sounds scientific, but look at for the base. For ordinary people, base can define as architecture, botany, geometry, surveying. Yeah, according to their categories. The part of column between the shaft and pedestal or pavement that belong to architect. While for geometry, base is a line or surface on which a figure is regarded as standing. But we as science students know that the definition of base is any substance that in water solution is slippery to touch and taste bitter, change the color of indicator, for example, the litmus paper from red to blue, reacts with acid to form salt, and promotes certain chemical reaction for base catalyst.
I hope you've got my point about the chemistry term. Now before we jump to the core activity, I need you to make groups. Each group consists of 4 students. Each group must has the leader as delegation. It's up to you. You may use group generator or classical method. Okay, can we start? Have you done? Okay, now we're gonna talk about gamification. According to CAT 2012, gamification is a newly coined term that reflects a social phenomenon arising with the generation of digitally literate population. Gamification has been defined as the use of game-based mechanics, aesthetics, and game thinking to engage people, motivate action, promote learning, and solve problems. Easier for you that nowadays the youth is really depend on their gadget, especially for gaming. This kind of activity increases the motivation we adopt the game into our teaching learning activity to deliver our material. Remember this? I took an example, the periodic table for our learning today. We can learn a lot of chemistry terms in this topic. We call it the element bingo. Ta-da! Draw 5 times 5 squares like this on your drawing book or your gadget. It's up to you. Now fill each squares with group A elements as shown like this. It's only example. You can randomize the elements. Let's play! Level 1. This level is to increase students' listening skill and vocabulary. The statement regarding the elements will be delivered by facilitator. Student will hear only once. Students must guess the element based on the description given. Students must cross the square that contains the mentioned element. Example: students will hear this element bonds with oxygen to form quartz. Student answer: silicon or Si. Student do: cross the Si in the square. This is the example. You will win if you cross the squares in vertical, horizontal, or diagonal direction. So sorry, this game contains of luck. The main idea to increase listening skill, vocabulary, and pronunciation regarding to the content. In this case, I only provide 5 statements. Next, the facilitator reads this for the students. This is number 1. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Level 2. This level can increase listening skill, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Privately, the facilitator will give an element to be described orally to the audience by the delegation until the elements bank has all mentioned. Students must guess the element based on the description given. Students must cross the square that contains the mentioned element. Here are the examples of elements we shared to the delegation. That's all the example how to deliver chemistry terms in elements topic with simple gamification. Now you can go in advance for the technology-based gamification. This link is the example of gamification. This is the end of the lesson. Thanks for your attention. If you have a question, inform in fee class. Goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.